Hey guys, welcome back to SB Basic. Last week we asked you to send in your questions because we are going to be doing our first Q&A. And you guys sent in great questions, and we're going to try our best to answer as many as we can. As you notice though, we are doing a little packing up because we've decided to take a little road trip.
That's right. We are going to go see some family.
Woo! And was a little excited.
And we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take this Q&A on the road. You guys ready?
Yep. We're ready. Let's do this.
This will be fun.
Road trip.
Road trip.
So this question comes from one of our patrons, Stephen K, and he wanted to know if we have a water maker on board.
And the short answer is no, not yet. We plan on putting a water maker in before we leave the country. Hasn't been a priority yet. And to be honest with you, on our last cruising boat, we had a water maker, and we used it occasionally because water was so available.
Yeah.
But that's not the...
But that's just in Mexico. There's going to be plenty of other areas that we know water's going to be...
harder to find.
Yeah, a big issue.
So definitely that is in the future. We will install it before we leave the country. And be honest, we don't know what water maker we're going to choose yet. There's a lot of
factors into it. There's going to be obviously price, because there's so many price ranges, and you know, also the capacity
and quality,
power consumption, and then the other thing is our usage. Do we need a huge water maker? I don't think so, but
I know, and these are things that we'll dive into when we get closer to that install, and we'll definitely bring you along when we do that. That's going to be before we leave the country, so it's not too far in the future. So
it's going to be a fun project for Teal for sure. He's already allocated a locker space just for his water maker.
Right.
So
well, it needs to be in a space that's easy to get to. If your water maker is tucked down inside a lazarette, maintenance becomes an issue, and when you're not doing maintenance, your water maker is not going to function properly.
The other thing is we have to figure out which one will work because of parts, and that's a huge issue when you're going into other countries. If you have a part that's missing on your water maker and you can't get it, that's going to be an issue. So we're going to factor all of that in.
And we're not going to, I'm going to throw this out there because I know people are going to say, why not just build our own water maker? I'm not interested in building a water maker. I'm going to go with a name brand, somebody that has a good reputation, and there's quite a few to choose from, and we will definitely keep you up the...
Keep you in the loop
of that's
what's
what I was
going
looking for. Keep you in the loop, and
it's early.
It is early, but let's get going. Thank you for the question. That was a great question.
We'll see you in the next spot.
Okay, another question from a patron. This is from Samuel in Sydney. Are you ready for a multi-day passage given the right wind conditions to head south? You know, I think that's a question that has two answers. Are we ready, and is the boat ready? I would say we are always ready. We have no problem doing overnight passages. In fact, on our last cruising boat, Lynn preferred the overnight passages. You know, we did run into a couple hiccups on an overnight passage recently, but it doesn't scare us. That's just part of it. Are we going to be a little more careful? Oh, for sure. And that leads to the answer to the next question, which is the boat ready? Well, the boat's ready, but there are some things we can do to make the boat safer and more comfortable. And we're going to bump those up the priority list and start attacking a few of those. Autopilot, hardtop, mainsail. That's just the three that comes to mind. Actually, and radar, there's four. Those 4 items, we have moved up the priority list, and we'll be attacking those in the near future. We're going to get going on some of those, and we're planning and plotting right now. So, is the boat ready? Yeah, it's ready, but we're going to work towards getting it safer and more comfortable. Thanks for the question.
Okay, so here's another question. This is from Daniel M. Could you make more videos, like twice a week, half an hour, or once a week, an hour? In his opinion, you have the best sailing channel on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And please share more of your adventure and work. So,
do you want me to answer that, or do you want to answer?
I'm gonna say a hard pass on that.
Yeah, making more video. Right now, we're putting in quite a bit of time between videoing, editing, projects, school,
schooling,
traveling, building a boat.
Yeah.
Our plate is pretty full right now.
It takes us, I mean, literally from the time we get up until the time we go to bed, it is go, go, go. I mean, we get up and we try to, Teal and I actually try to work with Emma with school, and then, you know, we figure out what projects we have to do, and then also trying to get the shots. Weather is a big factor, and just planning our travels. It's a lot of work, and also trying to stay in touch with our friends, patrons, subscribers, viewers, anybody that's watching. We really try to engage as much as we can. And if we have to do longer videos or more videos than once a week, I think that everything else will suffer just a bit.
But not to say that we won't put out a bonus video here and there.
Yeah, we'll try.
But that'll probably be down the road when things slow down a bit, the boat's mostly complete, and we'll have a little more time to relax. I think it'll be fun to try to sneak a video here and there, but for now, once a week, that's all we can handle.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
Okay, another question. Actually, this one, we got quite a few. How we take care of Compass, and what's his exercise plan? What do we do to keep him happy? And his bathroom.
Well, first of all, this little guy
has more energy than all three of us.
You know, he has full run of the boat, and he takes advantage of that. We play with him every day, even though he doesn't leave the boat sometimes for a week or two. You got to understand, this guy's just over 5 pounds. You do the math. We're 30 times bigger than he is. He's like playing in a 5,000 square foot room. So he takes full advantage and runs all around. We play with him.
He tires all of us out.
But
we take turns.
He's a handful. He's totally 100% trained to go on his pee pad, and it's been working great. He learned that in about 1 day, and it's very rare that he ever misses. He does pretty good, so we're happy with that.
And in regards to his food, you guys saw that he's very specific. This guy does not like change very much, but one of those 14-pound bags will last us about 3.5 months.
Yeah, and he doesn't eat anything else. We don't supplement it with any other food. That is the only food he eats, and he prefers it. One time we dropped a, a piece of salami or something on the ground.
No, a whole, it was crazy. Teal dropped some cured meats, and we noticed it way later that it was missing. It was on the ground, and Compass had not tried to even attempt to even go near it.
He just looked at it.
So he likes to adhere to his strict diet, and it works for him. And when it works for him, it works for us.
Yep, a happy dog is a happy family for sure. Yep.
So let's load back in the car.
Yeah, because it's getting cold.
Let's go.
Annoyed Teal enough. Emma and I have been singing Christmas music. We're trying to sneak in some songs in there.
It's not even Thanksgiving.
I don't care. We love it. Okay, next question. Emma, this one is for you.
Okay.
Brian I wants to know if you caught a crab big enough for dinner.
No, I did not catch a crab big enough for dinner. I caught 2 crabs!
That's right.
That was pretty cool. It was good size, and we made crab dip, one of their favorites, and we enjoyed the heck of it. That was the sweetest crab. I mean...
So, good job, Em.
right, here's a question for us. John L. wants to know, do we fight, and who has made the most compromises?
I'd rather not.
Well, John.
I'd rather not answer that question because I don't want to start something.
Well, you know, we've been married almost 21 years.
21.
Yes, we fight sometimes, but I don't think it's anything really serious.
Never serious. I mean, we're solid. We know we're in this for the long haul. Nobody's going anywhere. But yeah, we've been married for almost 21 years. Of course we're going to bicker once in a while.
The biggest issues that we have is sometimes I feel like Teal is so focused on his projects that he doesn't listen to me or whatever. And he feels like I'm not listening to him, but we do.
And it all smooths over.
Yeah, we actually do enjoy hanging out with each other sometimes.
Isn't that weird?
So, the answer is yes, we do fight. No, they're not serious. And yes, we do compromise. Both of us do. I mean, that's the only way to...
That's what a marriage is about. You have to compromise both ways.
Obviously, but it's a little bit harder because when you're on a boat, everything is magnified by 100, I think, because you're in tight quarters.
Yep.
You don't have that personal space. Although the last boat that we had was smaller than this one, and we honestly did not fight in the 7 years that we were on that boat, 3.5 of it cruising, because we had a rule. And when you have ground rules on a boat for personal space, you don't fight. I should have that rule.
You should. Whatever it takes, honey. Whatever it takes.
So there's your answer. This next question comes from Brian J. Have you been surprised by the many obstacles, or is it really just a good SB Basic shakedown to test the crew's resolve?
Well, I guess the obstacles are some of the breakdowns. And, you know, we knew we were going to have a few potential issues. I mean, let's face it, our boat is 26 years old.
Well, for me, it's not really, it's not a big thing because things break down.
No, for sure. Even if it was brand new, we'd probably have some issues.
Even if it is a brand new boat, there's no guarantee that anything that you install or is already on the boat isn't going to have issues. So having this shakedown actually was a good thing because it allowed us to gain confidence on the things that we have installed, and it made us look into the areas that, you know, we didn't.
And that's a big reason why we didn't just leave Seattle and go hang a left. We wanted to shake the boat down a little up in the San Juans and into Canada and spend some time up there, because if we're going to develop problems, we want to be in a place where we can fix them. And you know what? It was a good thing that we had a few issues. It let me gain some respect for the boat, some more knowledge on the boat.
Not to say it wasn't frustrating, because it always is.
Of course.
I mean, we had discouraging at times.
We had the Kiwi prop, we had the water pump, we had what other little issues did we have? Oh, the jib track. I mean, there were some things, and you know what? Life happens. We fixed it, and we're moving on. So, great question. And you know what? I'm sure there's going to be other little things that'll break down in the future.
Yeah. But we're okay with it.
We are.
It's not a big deal. Everything is fixable.
That's right. Thanks for the question.
Okay, so this one is a question for Emma. Okay. And it says, what grade, this is from Ron C. What grade is Emma in, and what is she studying in her schoolwork?
Well, I'm in 6th grade, and I'm doing Calvert online. I have 2 learning guides. My dad does math and science, and my mom does social studies and English language arts.
And you have a real teacher, too.
Yeah, one that I submit my work to.
And her teacher will submit work daily, and we have live conferences with her teacher, and they go over everything with us, look for any issues, and grade all her papers. But she's a star student so far.
But we're all going to school at this point because...
Believe me, It's like learning math and science and English, language arts, social studies all over again. So I think it's been a great family experience.
Yeah.
And
the reason why we split these is science and math is Teal's strong points, and social studies and language arts is mine. So it just works out for the both of us, so we don't go crazy.
Yep.
And Emma she can't pit one teacher against the other because they're her parents.
Yep.
But overall, she's enjoying it, we're enjoying it, and it gives us some time together.
It does. Yep. And you know what? Even though we're on a little road trip right now, that does not mean that school stops. We were up early this morning doing her lessons.
Got a couple units in before we hit the road again.
So overall, how do you like school?
It's pretty cool. I like it.
She's an easy kid. We're lucky. All right, it's getting wet. I want to go inside.
Okay, let's get going, guys.
So this question's for Teal. How often do you run a single engine while motoring? At what RPM, speed, and what's your fuel burn rate? This is from Steve W.
Okay, to answer your question, we have two Yanmar 30 horsepower, the 3 YM30s. And they're not big engines, but they are pretty efficient. We run them at about 2200 to 2300 RPMs, and they'll burn 0.6 gallons per hour at that RPM. When we're traveling, we usually run one engine at a time, and that pushes us around on flat seas 5.5 knots, maybe 6. If we run both engines, you could double that burn rate, and we're only going to gain about 1.5 knots of speed. So for economy reasons, we run one engine most of the time. Thanks for the question. Okay, this next question came from Robert T. He wants to know, are we happy with our solar, and do we have plans to go to lithium batteries? Well, first, yes, we are very happy with the solar. We've been running on solar now for about 2.5 months, and you know what, even though we've been plugged into a dock here and there, we have yet to turn on a battery charger. We only plug in to run maybe additional heating, so we do not have to run our diesel heaters while we're on a dock. So solar's been working great. As far as plans for the lithiums, you know what? We have a bank of Trojan T105s now. We have 6 batteries, and it's a total of 675 amp hours of batteries. And we have yet to run those under 70% capacity. So I would say our solar's keeping up. The Trojan T105s are working well. So no plans to replace those with lithium yet. I do really like the idea of saving weight, but we will wait for these Trojans' lifespan to, you know, get a little closer to the end before we make that decision. I'm sure we will go to lithium one day, but we're probably, honestly, 2 to 3 years from making that jump. Thanks for the question. Come on, reach around this thing.
Let's split Emma in half.
Come on. Let's all go. Come on, all the way around it. Look.
Emma's new treehouse.
Yep. Woo!
This next question comes from Kelly S. She wants to know how we came about the boat name. And first off, it is the phonetic spelling of the word basic.
Because we're a simple boat, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, it's actually an interesting story. You know, when we knew we wanted to come up with a name for our boat that was easy to say, so it'd be easy on the radio, and it would be just fit our family.
Yeah.
So what we were doing every single day, everybody had to come up with.
Yeah, this was a group effort because we wanted everyone's voices to be heard. So everybody had to pull in their ideas of what
5 names a day. And at dinner time, we have dinner every night together. We each had to put down the 5 names and we talked about it as a family. And, you know, we came up with these creative, long, complicated names. And every time we'd be like, no, a more simple name. We need a name that's easier to say, something more basic. And then, you know, this went on for a good week or two. And we kept saying, no, more basic, more basic, more basic.
More clean, simple, basic.
And then at the end of a couple weeks, Emma looks at us and says, how about basic? And it just clicked.
Yeah.
So that's how we came up with a name for our boat. Good job, Em.
Thanks.
And you guys noticed we got new hats, and it's available on our merch store. So there's the white version and the black version with our logo, which Emma also designed. So
yep, this logo is all Emma. She designed it, and
so
we
if you
love
guys know anybody that wants something for Christmas, this is a great thing to have. I love the white one personally. Teal likes the black one, but you know, we're gonna change it up too. But there you go. Okay, so this next question is something that has been asked numerous times on most of our videos, and that is, how do we afford our lifestyle and refit?
Well, the shorter answer is we saved. We worked hard at multiple jobs, both Lynn and I, over the last decade or even longer. And you know, there was a lot of sacrifices. We didn't buy brand new cars. We didn't go on lavish vacations, and we just saved. And that's how we did it.
Well, there's more than just saving. I mean, we really did. After we decided on our first boat that this is what we wanted to do, we really changed our lifestyle and how we go about living and how what our priorities are versus everything else. And we just adjusted, and that helped us. And you know, sometimes it was hard. Yeah, it was hard sometimes.
But we set a goal and we stuck to it.
Yeah, because you know, and looking back now, I don't regret it. I don't regret kind of foregoing on some of these luxuries because we had this lifestyle and it suits us. It's something that we really feel passionate about, and look,
I know, here we are.
We're doing it.
All this hard work is starting to pay off.
So that's our secret, is that we just saved and we changed our lifestyle.
It was worth it.
This question is for Teal. This is from 10 Alexa 10. Teal, where is your ancestors from?
Well, that's a good question. And it's a question that's usually directed towards Lynn. Everybody wants to know. And, well, Lynn is Vietnamese. As far as I go, you know, there was a bit of confusion in my family tree. And so I actually went and had one of those DNA testing done with Ancestry.com. And I was not shocked. I am predominantly Norwegian.
So that means that I am half Vietnamese and half Norwegian and Scandinavian and Yugoslavian and all those other things too. But it just means I'm American, and that's pretty cool. JWRAPPUHN71 asks, are you going to put cushions on your helm seat?
I'm going to answer that one. Yes, we are definitely going to be putting cushions on the helm seat, but we're also going to be doing it on a lot of other areas too. So I'm actually saving up for more sewing projects so I can do a few items at the same time. So it just optimizes when I have the sewing machine out. So we are definitely putting cushions on our helm seat because nobody likes a hard helm seat. Right?
Right.
It's not so bad.
So Teal's in the bathroom right now, so I thought I'd surprise him with another question as he's coming out. So I have a question.
Yes?
It's from Gerard, and he wants to know, what is the material that you're using for your backer plates?
That is starboard lumber, or king starboard lumber. You can get it at most marine supply stores. It's wonderful to work with. It works with all woodworking tools. It's indestructible, can never rot. It's a little heavy, but it is a wonderful product.
This next question is from Ken S. Do you have any plans or thoughts about a hardtop over your helm? And the answer is yes.
Of course we do. We talked about it a little bit, well, a lot, on episode 27, if you want to look back at that. Our plans have changed, not that much, but we're going to hold that basic design. And after cruising in the Pacific Northwest during the rainy season, it is a must, and we know that. And we've always had plans to put a hardtop and full enclosure option on there. So it will happen. We're just looking for that right window of weather and a good location to build that. It's gonna be a big project. It's probably gonna take us, you'll see us building that over a few episodes, I'm sure.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm sure you guys know is Teal over plans and overdraws and overthinks, which is a good thing. But there's a lot of factors into building this hardtop as well. So it's not just building a hardtop and just slapping it on and calling it a day. We want it to go with the lines of the boat. Mm-hmm. And then there's other things such as, how much lighting are we going to build into it?
There's going to be a sound system in it. There's going to be electronics.
And then, having all the electronics or wires that's going from our davits going into our hardtop back into the cabin as wire chases.
Yes, and that's what we've been holding off on, quite a bit of electronics until the hardtop is complete, because it's going to be a much shorter run for the electronics or for the electrical chase if we run it through the hardtop.
The other thing too is the weight issue. So we really want to be careful of what materials we're using. I mean, we know we're going to use Nitacore, mm-hmm. but we have to factor that, which means that I have to find other things to unload because we don't want to be heavy.
On the back end. We're definitely going to wait. It's going to be a weight sensitive project. We're going to keep it as light as we can and as strong as we can. So it's going to be a fun one to build for sure. I want it strong enough that we can walk on it. We're going to incorporate more solar into this. We're going to put another 500 watts of solar onto it. We're also going to incorporate a hot water solar assist water system that's going to be
that's going to be really cool.
And these will all be done in stages after the hardtop's done, but they're all in the big picture. So it's going to be a fun project, and thanks for the question. It's coming.
Oh, good.
Oh.
This next question is from Jason C. How long and how many hours does it take for you guys to edit and put out a video?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question because every week is a little different, but if I was to put an average on it, I would say filming, we're probably having cameras run quite a bit. We're probably running cameras 10 to 15 hours a week on various things. Then when it comes to editing and rendering and putting out the video, we can easily add another 25 to 30 hours. So I'd say on average, 35 to 50 hours.
But the other thing is...
Well, there's some hidden things in here that I'm putting in there. It's because when we're doing a project, instead of me taking 2 hours to do a project, if I'm filming it, that may take me 4 hours or 5 hours. So it's adding time to our days every day.
Yeah, so for the most part, it seems like it's about 20 to 40 hours, but then you tag on another, I'd say 15 hours, if not more.
Well, especially if you're talking once we put the video together and uploading it and finding internet and all these hidden little things that chew into time.
Sometimes, weather doesn't permit us to film. If we're out in the wind, you guys have seen sometimes that sound is an issue.
Or we have to retake a shot because it just didn't work. The camera was at the wrong angle.
Or I've dropped the camera a few times.
Or batteries good. I mean, it's you know what? It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun.
It is. We enjoy it sometimes. Most of the time. Sometimes it's frustrating if you just can't get it together. And the other thing is putting together a story. Most of the time, our videos work around a project. But we also try to incorporate a little bit of our lives as well. So that's the other thing, is finding that fine line that, it's something that you guys will enjoy and something that we're proud of. And
so, yeah, that's another point, I guess, because we could sit around and talk about what next week's video is going to be about, and that could be another 2 to 6 hours of just planning for videos down the road. So, yeah, it is a complicated question,
it's
but
a multi-tiered question.
So there's your nice
answer.
Specific answer right there.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. This next question comes from Richard359. You never showed the installation of your AIS. How is it performing and how do you like it? Well, we were in Nia Bay and we decided to install the AIS there. I thought I had all the equipment and bits and pieces I needed, but unfortunately I didn't have a NEMA backbone that made the Vesper XB8000 communicate with that Raymarine Axiom 12. So we had Fisheries send us one overnight, and along with a few drop cables, once everything plugged in, power was applied, antennas were plugged in, everything fired right up and it worked perfect. It's a handy device to have AIS. I recommend it for anyone who's out on the water. Not only for other boats to see you, but for you to see them. It gives you peace of mind. It is an incredible piece of safety equipment, and I'm happy with it so far.
We are now at our destination. So road trip for a little bit is over, but we wanted to end it with one last question, and this is coming from our patron, Walter F. He wanted to know what our long-term goals are, or our long-term plans are.
Well, we've just started this journey, and so it's hard to say where we'll be 5 or 8 or 10 years from now, but
we have short-term plans.
Yeah, I mean, this is an open-ended trip for us, for sure. So we can predict, maybe not even predict accurately, but generally, we want to head south into the Sea of Cortez, spend a season, at least a season up in the Sea of Cortez, and then sail down the Mexican mainland down to Central America, and then make a decision at that point. Do we go to the South Pacific? Do we go through the Panama Canal?
I know where my choice is.
Yeah, we're all leaning to go to South Pacific right now. But
we're going to make a decision at that point. And you guys know when we first started out, things happen, and
things may change.
Your plans change a little bit. It postpone it, and it doesn't mean that we're going to stop. It just means that we're just kind of veering off on another detour, and we're exploring. So that's the main goal, is just to explore and see as much of this world as we possibly can and enjoy it.
And I think long term, our goal is not to necessarily circumnavigate the world, but to see the world.
Well, we may though.
You never know, we may do it. So we're going to do this as long as we're having fun and we're all healthy and happy. And
as long as you guys are watching, we will keep producing these videos for you guys to share with.
So thanks for bearing with our Q&A session. Actually, it was kind of fun to do. It's fun to answer some questions, and maybe we'll do another one of these in the future.
Yeah, now it's time to spend some time with family.
Let's go have some fun.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.